We're live.
Work tirelessly and make it possible to have a full return of fans this season. And as Al mentioned, we're celebrating a couple of anniversaries this season. The 75th anniversary of the founding of the franchise, as well as the 30th anniversary of the 49ers Foundation. The foundation continued its tremendous impact in the community this past year. Even amid the pandemic and through programs like EDU and PrEP, they were able to support underserved Bay Area communities digitally. For our next segment, NBC Sports Bay Area 49ers pre- and post-game host Laura Brett sat down with Executive Director Justin Prettyman of the 49ers Foundation to learn a little bit more about the 30th anniversary and what might be in store in 2021. I'm honored now to be joined by a very important man around the 49ers organization, Justin Prettyman, the Executive Director of the 49ers Foundation. He also oversees all of the operations surrounding the 49ers registered 501c3 that benefits the Bay Area youth. Justin, always great to see you, and welcome to the State of the Franchise.
Thanks so much, Laura.
I know you guys have a lot of things planned for 2021, and I want to get into all of those. Before we head into 2021, let's take a look back, because the pandemic was a challenge for all of us. I know for you and your team especially, it brought on a lot of different challenges. What were some of the accomplishments that your team was able to achieve during the pandemic, during 2020?
The pandemic really gave us a chance to do what we do best, and that's support our community and Bay Area youth in particular. So some of the highlights from the past year were being able to deliver services at a higher rate than normal. We're sitting here in Levi's Stadium. We are one of the only teams I know of in professional sports who has 4 classrooms in our stadium, and we typically have about 60,000 students and teachers coming in through the building. That all stopped in 2020, and we got creative. We got really resourceful. So I'm really proud of what our programs were able to do. We were able to reach more students, teachers, coaches, and athletes than ever before in a virtual capacity, and really be there for those families that are furthest from opportunity.
The challenges that the pandemic presented to all of us were extreme. It's amazing that you were able to, the numbers you're mentioning, 60,000 people that you're filtering through and trying to organize all of that. That's a big challenge. But when you think about the milestones, I know that the foundation, the 49ers Foundation, recently just hit a major milestone, and I'd love for you to expand on that a little bit more.
Yeah, so this is a really special year for the 49ers and the 49ers Foundation. On the field, we're celebrating the 75th anniversary of the team. Off the field in the community, we're celebrating another milestone. 30 years of impacting the lives of Bay Area youth. It's something that we're incredibly proud of. It's spearheaded, of course, by the York family and their vision and our mission to educate and empower Bay Area youth. Over the past 30 years, we have invested over $50 million back into the Bay Area, into communities in need. And we couldn't be more committed to the mission of doing that for the next 30 years and beyond.
A lot of the players and athletes are involved in this, but there's one in particular. I know that the GOAT is heavily involved in the foundation. You got connections, Justin.
Yeah, I'm lucky to call the GOAT our Jerry Rice, our honorary chairman of the 49ers Foundation. It's rare that you have somebody who meets, if not exceeds, your passion for your work. He is really a force. Obviously, it was a force on the field, a champion on the field, certainly a champion in the community, somebody who wants to continue to elevate our work and be there, whether it be at events, whether it be brainstorming ways that we can reach communities most hard hit, and really just be a strategic partner in our overall strategy to grow. So we love the GOAT. He pushes all of us to go big, to dream big, and to invest big.
I mean, I'm sure the kids love it too, right?
Yeah, I would say he's probably the number one attraction at our events, and when we go out into the community, people just gravitate to him, and we are so lucky to have him as the face of the 49ers Foundation's work.
Hard not to like him. He's such a likable guy. So you mentioned the 30th anniversary. Congratulations on that. I also heard you sprinkle in some in-person events. We can't
just skip right by that. That's a big deal, especially after everything that we faced last year. That's a big deal for your team as well. What can you share with us about the return of in-person events, not only in 2021, but especially as you guys celebrate this milestone year, 30 years?
Yeah, what I will start by saying, there's nobody more excited to shut the computer and get back to in-person events than the 49ers Foundation. We did a great job in 2020 executing virtual events. This year, I'm happy to announce we will be back in Levi Stadium with our Players for a Purpose on the field, full team in attendance, some very special alumni, raising funds for our work in the community.
Dustin, thanks for sharing all of that information. And really, when you start to think about the numbers that we've talked about representing kids that are being affected by the 49ers Foundation, it's really heartwarming to think about. I know it's passionate work that the 49ers Foundation does. So thanks for joining me here on State of the Franchise.
Thanks so much for having me, Laura. And to all the faithful out there who are looking for a way to get involved, they can go to 49ers.com/foundation to find out a little bit more about the work and find areas that they can get involved.
It is so impressive to see the work that the 49ers Foundation continues to make off the field in the community. A big round of applause to our entire 49ers community impact team for continuing to advance social justice initiatives and empowering Bay Area youth. On the field, at the SAP Performance Facility, and in the front office, the team has been hard at work with key offseason signings, as well as a return to a little bit of normalcy with in-person OTAs. For our next segment, the voice of the San Francisco 49ers, Greg Papa, caught up with John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan to discuss their thoughts on OTAs, notable additions to the team, the return of fans to Levi Stadium, and Kyle's cameo as the Grand Marshal at a NASCAR race in Sonoma.
So nice to be in the same room with you guys. I don't think I've been in the same room since the night of the Super Bowl. I can almost go out and touch you. Does it feel like it's a little more normal around the team now, Kyle?
Yeah, it does to me. I mean, we'll see when we come back for training camp. Hopefully we'll have enough guys vaccinated that it can officially be normal. But just like I think everywhere we're walking around the city, going to restaurants, everything feels a little bit more normal now. And I know we're not 100% there yet, but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, that's for sure.
So this is 5 years, John, that you and Kyle have been together. What has it meant to you to have the support that you've received during these 5 years from the faithful?
Yeah, it's been incredible. Whether we're here, walking around the streets when we're out with our families, or, you really feel it when we're on the road. I mean, the faithful on the road, it's just blown my mind. When we go to a city, at our hotel, at a stadium, the way we take over stadiums, it's just really fun. And we have passionate fans that are very knowledgeable. And what I love, and I think in part what brought me here, what brought Kyle here, the expectations here. People want excellence. That's the standard, and you want to be in a place that's the expectation.
You've worked in a lot of cities throughout your career. What has it meant to you to have the support you've received from this fan base, Kyle?
It's been extremely special. I've been through some good times and bad times in a lot of cities. I would say you would think the toughest time I've been through is starting 0-9 as a head coach here, but it wasn't. It was actually, I felt I was with some pretty educated fans that, we didn't have the best record to start, but they could see what we were made of and the direction we were going. And I kept waiting for people to throw stuff at me when I was on the street, but everyone treated us with a lot of respect, and I wasn't used to that with a lot of places I've been. And now to be here 4 years later, and it's only gotten stronger. And a month ago, I went to Sonoma at a NASCAR race, and that was my first time being around a group of Niner fans in a long time, and it kind of brought back, it made me so much more excited for the season, and knowing that how much better it feels to hang around real people instead of cardboard cutouts. It's a big difference.
Did you take away any play calls from there? I'm thinking on an all-go, a 4 vertical. You just call, gentlemen, start your engines.
Yes. Oh, it's not gentlemen, it's driver. And I'm like, have people messed this up? And they're like, yeah, they do. So they made sure I said drivers. No, but it was a good time. And when you speak of the fan base here, it's great in the area. But then what John says when we travel, one of the most special moments I've had since we've been here, that there's nothing cooler than watching our Niner gang going up and down Bourbon Street saying bang, bang, taking over Bourbon Street, which is a scary thing to do. But our we earned it from how we played, and our fans went out there and handled it right. And I love being a part of the Niner fan base.
as a former broadcaster, did you hear his starting of the engines? Did he flub any lines?
And I was impressed. I was impressed. It's a good time. He was in good hands. You know, another member of the faithful, Jeff Gordon, was there.
Yeah.
And you know, when I used to work at Fox, I started to hear about what a big Niner fan. And then when we took the job, he reminded me. I mean, he is really into it. So there's a lot of people out there undercover that you don't know are Niner fans. But he was awesome. We were all on a group text following it. And,
it was
brought
stressful. Well, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. And then I was looking at it on the drive up there and watching all these people do it. And I started to realize the tradition of it. And then I'm watching, most people just say, driver, start your engines. And then I'm watching like Adam Sandler and all these people do a bunch of stuff. And I'm like, all right, that's not what you do. You be respectful to the driver, say 4 words and end it. And I got to meet a bunch of guys, race car drivers and stuff. But every guy said to me, like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just going to just say my 4 word. They go, oh, no, you got to bring it, man. Do I? And they're like, yeah, you got to bring it. I'm like, and so they got me really rattled. So I had to do more than I planned on. And I just feel like I survived it. That was my only goal.
Incredible. All right, a new year, 2021 is going to start up, and it's going to be a new world, obviously, than we lived through last year. What, Kyle, excites you the most about the 2021 season?
I've had the same goal my whole life. You know, all I want to do is win a Super Bowl. I've been close there a number of times, and the cool thing about our job is every year you get that opportunity again, and you don't just go into it being like it's that or bust, but everyone knows the end what your vision is and what your goal is, and that'll never change. And I love getting to attack that every year. And you know, just this year, the fact that when we get to training camp, it won't be the first time I've seen our players since our last game. You know, being able to go through a month of an off season together, being able to have some little camaraderie, work through some things to where when we left them last in OTAs, I know our team's ready to come back, and it's going to be a needed time away and stuff. But getting these guys back, where we got a number of guys that have been here, we've added some new guys from other teams and some rookies, and I know how hungry our team is. They were hungry last year, and last year was a frustrating year for us all. And all you can do is just deal with it and wait for the next year. And I'm only about a month away, so can't wait for those days to get here.
The OTAs that you were able to get done, and you did back off a little bit at the end, and the mini camps as well, but so different from the way last year was conducted for you. How do you think that'll help you going into training camp?
I think it'll help us a ton. You know, I think the best offseason that I feel we had here was the 2019 one. I mean, when our season ended, like barely any players went away. Guys were working out on their own with Dustin, and then we were allowed to get and go through phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. You know, we've always had 100% here. This year, we had everyone but one guy, and he was the guy who couldn't participate in it anyways with D-Ford's injuries. So we still had that same deal, but when you miss practice in football, it takes a little bit of your edge away. And I always felt like the type of people we bring in here are guys that don't have a problem working. They want to work. And it's kind of tough to work at football without playing football. So when you can get a group of those guys and give an organization that, you know, Jed doesn't mind getting them breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and providing people who can help them here. And I think we get a very good turnout here, and it allows us actually to get better at what we do. And it was very tough when the quarantine, we couldn't do that. I feel that's an advantage we have over a lot of teams, that we're not exactly just what our roster says, because you don't know what our roster is going to be, because we're improving all the time, because we practice, we work, we're deliberate in what we do, and we challenge each other. And to be able to miss that in the Super Bowl year or right after the Super Bowl year, it made me want it more than anything this year. And the way the league was going, I didn't know if we were going to get it. You know, just watching, hearing the talk and stuff, and I didn't know. But then when it started, and to watch all of our guys show up here, and all those guys go to work, and I feel we got more work done here than anyone I know about in the league, and I credit our guys for that.
And the next time they all get together, John, will be at training camp in late July. And that first preseason game, and I know it's only a preseason game, but still, August the 14th, when the Chiefs come in, the first time the faithful will come through the turnstiles again. And then ultimately, week 3, Sunday Night Football, September the 26th against Green Bay. What is it going to mean to your football team to have fans back in the stands? And what was it like, and I'll throw this out to both of you, to be able to play football without anybody watching the 49ers last year? How much will the fans help you get over the top, especially for the home games?
incredibly. I mean, preseason is preseason. I used to always say as a player, it doesn't count, but it does matter. You're really growing as a team. You find players that you throw them out there not knowing how they're going to respond, and some rise, some fall. There's so much good about it. But what you mentioned about having fans back in this stadium, it was really strange playing football. You could hear, I think that's one thing the fans got to appreciate how much hitting's going on out there, because you could hear more than ever. But it is strange, like hearing coaches, hearing everything they're saying on the sidelines, things of that nature. It's going to be nice to have that energy. But I certainly fed off whatever crowds it helps pick you up. And I think the energy of our team, we got a lot of guys who love it, but that's even increased when you got a fan base that does. Ours, we've already talked about how great they are.
Is there any part of having fans back and the whole ritual of the excitement of playing a football game, Kyle, that you're going to long for to have the fans back where you didn't have it last year, whether it's the player introductions or the national anthem or just anything everything's going to feel so much different now with a buzz back in the stadium?
I don't even know what's going on before the game. I'm so locked in on the game, but you feel people. You feel an energy. I mean, even if I had earplugs in, you'd still feel a collective energy of 80,000 people. And that's something that if you would ask me before, what's it going to be like not having fans, I've been like, yeah, that's probably going to suck. But now I really know it does. I actually had to go through that, and it is worse than I ever imagined. I mean, that first game, I'll never get over when I came out there and saw cardboard sitting in the stands and our sky was orange, and I did not know where I was. And I'm like, is this real? And eventually you get used to it. But it wasn't something I wanted to get used to. I don't mind. It was nice not having to use the silent cadence on the road. But that was probably the only benefit. And like I said about going to the NASCAR thing last month, I didn't realize how they were allowed to be 1/3 full, I think, at the time. I think that was the last one that wasn't going to be 100%, but just have 1/3 of the people there, and it felt different. And that was the first NASCAR thing I'd been to, but I felt like I was back with Niner fans, and it reminded me how much I missed it, and it made me that much more excited for this year.
This is the state of the franchise. So I want to hear from each of you. What is the state of the franchise? And I'll start just with the thought, your roster today compared to when you exited the Miami after Super Bowl 54. Is it better than it was? Is it deeper? What do you see from your roster, and what is the state of the franchise?
I mean, I think we've improved. We've improved our depth. There's always attrition. You're going to lose people. You can add people, but I do think we're better. But again, I go back to that gives you an opportunity. It gives you a chance, and now it is what we make it. I think we're made of the right stuff. We put a lot of focus on bringing guys that love football, that have that football character. That gives you an opportunity. I do think we're more talented. I think when you continue to add talented players who fit kind of our makeup, that's a good thing, and we've been able to do that. So I think we're well set up. I've got a lot of belief in our crew. I think good times are coming, and I'm just looking forward to getting going.
I do believe we have the chance to be better. But that's just how it starts. I mean, you got to earn that, and to be better, you got to go through some stuff, and that means a lot of guys who haven't done it before, some rookies, some second-year players, some third-year players, guys who haven't totally done it before, but they have the ability to do it. They need to step it up and do it. We need to put them in positions to do it, and also some veterans who have done it before. You're not just going to do it again just because you have. That's a whole another year. And are you going to be better or worse? And I believe the veterans that we have can be better. And so when you're in a situation where the guys who have been good, you still think they can get better, and the guys who haven't quite done it yet, you believe have the ability to do it, I think that's what we're saying. We have the chance to do anything that we want, and that's all you can ask for. But now there's a hell of a lot of work ahead of that, and that starts with every single person in our building.
Well, that certainly got me fired up. And I have to agree with John and Kyle that just having the players back in person for OTAs and just the energy and the camaraderie around the building, it gets me excited for training camp and the season. But John and Kyle continue to find ways to improve the roster through the draft and free agency. And it's impressive to see how much depth the team truly has across the board at all positions. But two positions on the roster that stand out as needing very little improvement are at tight end and middle linebacker. Well, that's thanks in part to the performances from the People's tight end George Kittle and the best middle linebacker in the NFL, Fred Warner. Greg Papa had a chance to connect with George and Fred to hear about their excitement for the upcoming season, OTAs, and how much they miss playing in front of you, the faithful, at Levi Stadium.
So you guys have ascended to not only leaders on this football team, all pros, one of the best players in football, tight end, one of the best middle linebackers in football, but neither one of you were day one picks. What does that say about who you are as people and what it really takes to achieve what you guys have achieved in this league?
Being able to fall into a place like the 49ers where they give everybody an opportunity, it doesn't matter if you're a first-round draft pick or an unsigned free agent, you have an opportunity to play football. And the coaches reward guys that take advantage of the opportunity that they get to play professional football every single day, whether it's an OTAs practice, whether it's a lift, whether it's a meeting, whether it's a camp practice or a game. Coaches are going to give you the opportunity. They don't care what run you were drafted, where you went to high school, how many stars you have. You show up and you play every single day and you're consistently the same guy every single day. You're in an opportunity to play a lot of football, and you can only be an all-pro. You can only go to the Pro Bowl. You can only go to the Super Bowl if you're playing. And they just gave us that opportunity, and it's just been it's been a hell of a ride.
Yeah, I'd probably say the same thing. I love what he said about being the same person every day. The consistency of it from day one. I was given every opportunity to do what I wanted to do. It took a lot of work to get to this point. Obviously, for both of us, we both came in. We weren't given anything, except for an opportunity. That's all you need. Like George said, it doesn't matter where you're drafted. It's what you do with it when you step foot on that field.
You remember the first time you guys met?
First time we met, or the first time I ratted him up?
Well,
Which one?
I mean,
Yeah, you can.
I strapped him up the first day of practice. I think, he came off the line and I put my hands on him.
Try
He
to
was
put.
just wiggling.
Yeah. I can pull up the tape, man. I remember that. That's what you call a special route. I undercut you. You overran.
Oh man, yeah. No, I was a wide-eyed rookie when he was here, man.
No, it's great. You guys are at the height of your profession, looking to get better. You're still young and developing players. So, Fred, I'll start with you. How can you get better? I mean, you're really good in all aspects of the game, but you're so new. How do you feel like you can become a better player?
I guess the cliche answer is to get better in all areas. There's always something I can find in every part of my game where I can get better, right? And since coming into the league, I held on to the things that they were saying I couldn't do pretty personally, right? And I was like, okay, well, let me make sure that those are strengths in my game. And ever since coming to the league, that's been a huge emphasis of mine. And I feel like I took a step this past season, but there's even more there. I look at different plays on film where I'm kind of just, grinding my teeth, like, I feel like I could have for sure ran through that guy a little bit more. I could have brought my feet more, and I'm my hardest critic when I look at myself on tape. And that's how you got to be if you want to be, the best and continue to grow in your game. And I take it very seriously, and I'm obsessed about it. I'm always trying to see on ways I can improve. So,
Georgie, how can you get better?
It's funny. It's like you sit next to Fred and we say a lot of the same things. We have very similar mindsets in regards to a lot of stuff. I will say, like, the NFL, it humbles you quick. I mean, like, you think that, you're good at football, and, something new can happen every single play, and it can completely humble you. Every single play matters. And so you have to look at what you're doing every single play, whether it's a run play, whether it's a pass pro, whether you're running a route, a shallow, just catching the ball, how you drop step after you catch the ball. And if you're not 100% on it every single play, you miss those opportunities. And, I'm just going to continue to hammer the opportunity thing, because every single snap you get on the football field is an opportunity, because you don't know when when your last snap will be. Like, you don't have any control over that. And so what, I know that I do, and I know that Fred does just by watching his tape, is we prepare ourselves to be the best version of ourselves each day in and day out. And we want to be great. And I think, we both have similar dreams of we want to play the game for as long as we can. We want to have a lasting impact on this game and on this franchise. And so we look at our tape, and, you have to be able to look yourself in the mirror and be like, hey, that play didn't work. It wasn't because Coach Shanahan called a bad play. It was because I should have executed it better. And how could I execute it better? Well, I should have known, hey, it was this coverage and they rolled to this, and I should have watched more tape. So, like I said, we're both very humble guys that, we look at the tape, we look ourselves in the mirror, and we expect each other to be great every single day. And that's just kind of our mindset.
What you said about your barn in Nashville and what you brought in there, tell me more about the balance beams that you brought in, and you trying to get stronger in your feet and ankle to avoid those kind of injuries.
I mean, of all the injuries I've had in the NFL, I've had nicks and bruises, all that stuff. But, missing 8 games last year, obviously, well, yeah. and 6 of them to a broken foot. And so, I mean, I've done everything I can this offseason to, change my training and so I can prepare for those things, because you can't just do the same thing and expect different results. So you have to evolve, you have to do new things. And I think these foot beams I walk on every single day, and like my feet have felt, stronger, like all the muscles, bones, everything, I just feel, much better about them. Just continue to, evolve and continue to learn more and continue to work on, basically health of the whole body. But you just, like you said, availability is the best ability. You got to stay on the football field if you want to make plays, if you want to be an all-pro football player. You got to be out there to be able to take advantage of those opportunities.
You're going to play a preseason game, and I know it's only a preseason game, but still, full capacity, back to Levi's, and then the ultimate will be week 3 on Sunday Night Football, September the 26th, against the Green Bay Packers. Last time you had fans here, you were playing them in the NFC title game. What do you think it's going to be like to have fans back, and what difference can the faithful make in getting you guys over the top in home games?
Man, that's going to be a special moment for sure. I mean, the fact that it couldn't have worked out better, the fact that it's going to be on a primetime game, it's at night. We're going to be our first home game of the season. Just having fans back is going to be so special. I know personally, I thrive off of the fans' energy. When I'm out there, that's what gets me going, and when we're making plays and we're doing the things that we're doing, those fans are in it. I feel like that's when it's just like that euphoria. Like it's something you can't explain, And so not having that last season, not to say that I don't still go out and enjoy playing football. Like it's something that I'm passionate about, but it's different. It's different when the fans are there, when they're in it, and you're in those type of games. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Ever since I was a rookie, even when we weren't winning a lot of games, they always showed up and they always loved the Niners. And like the last time I played in front of a full stadium was the NFC Championship game. And that was pretty electric. And I definitely know that our fans are going to come back because they've missed us, I think, just as much as we've missed them. And Levi Stadium is a place where the fans make a great impact on them. And the fans are close to they're close to the field, and you hear them. Like you can feel the energy, and they bring it every single Sunday. And just the fact that we get to play in front of them again, and you kind of feel like a gladiator out there. Everyone's watching, and while there's like 22 guys on the field, but everyone's watching their favorite players. Everyone's watching, guys, make the plays, and it's just fun to be able to make those plays in front of people that are there because they're just so happy to be there. They're so happy, they got a ticket to come see us play, and it's very rewarding to be a part of a fan base. To have a fan base like the faithful.
This is the state of the franchise. So we got a leader on defense, a leader on offense. Let me start with you, Fred. Give me your state of the defense going into 2021. You have a new defensive coordinator, DeMeco Ryans. Secondary was brought back. You have a lot of new guys on the defensive line. Where are the 49ers at defensively?
I could talk about the defense too.
Right.
They're not going to flip because you have to practice against them, right?
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that. Scary. So I feel like we have something to prove. And it starts with having a new defense coordinator and DeMeco. And DeMeco's been so big in my growth, in the growth in my game. Of course, we kind of came in. He was the new linebacker coach. I was the new kid on the block, and we've grown in this thing together. And we're talking about a guy who's going to be a future head coach, real soon. He's everything you would want in a leader and a teacher. And he stepped in and he's taken a grasp of this defense and brought his own his own twist on it. But ever since this coaching staff has come here, we've taken steps in the right direction and becoming one of the top defenses in this league. And our goal this year is to be right there on the tip of the mountain, be number one. And it starts right now in OTAs, and I feel like we've created such a great foundation already. If y'all could watch how we've been working, it's a sight to see because everybody's very locked in on one goal, and that's to be the best and and do it with special effort and with the right intensity, the right physicality, and when the pads come on, showing that and being that day in and day out. Because if we're doing it consistently, I feel like that's what's going to show up on game day. But we're all young and just ready to prove ourselves. It's a lot of underdogs who are, like I said, just trying to prove something. So I think that's what's gonna show up on tape.
George, over on offense, you brought Trent back, you got Juice back, you added a lot of people. Alex Mack is a Pro Bowl caliber center. The quarterback position's obviously much deeper than it was. Give me the state of the offense going into 2021.
I will say first, you forgot Nick Bosa's back too.
Oh, yes, Bosa back?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's pretty scary in itself. So
That
Yeah.
is scary. So first, yeah, let's just touch on that real quick. But the offense, I'm just excited about it. I felt like last year we never really got to get going. We never really got our momentum going because we always had someone was out, and then the huddle was different, and then someone else comes out and the huddle's different. And then 2 guys come back, 3 guys go out, and we just never got that momentum going. And one thing I'm already excited about just OTAs. We've been able to have a consistent huddle just in OTAs. We got to have like not 8 or 9 guys, the same guys every single rep with the ones. And when you can do that, when you have that cohesiveness in an offensive huddle, it goes a long way. And so just being able to have guys be on the field together, learn from each other, just see how one reacts to a certain play, whether it's like on a run play or a pass pro, like how you help each other. Just getting those reps together, you just get in a flow. And I'm really excited about this, offense. I think we have plenty of weapons, from the running back room, I think, which is really deep, from, Raheem, Jeff Wilson, Trey Sermon is an excellent football player. I think the tight end room has a lot of depth. We have a lot of young guys that are learning and getting better. And yeah, you got Trent Williams at left tackle. I mean, that's kind of a big deal. That dude's a monster and one of the most talented football players probably in the history of the game. And so to have that on the left side and that guy, when he's inspired, he wants to win a Super Bowl, and that's going to be a scary sight for a lot of people. And I'm just excited to get this thing going. And it's especially when you have a guy like Coach Shanahan at the controls, calling plays and dialing things up for our guys. Whether you're handing Debo the ball or you're hitting him on a drift, and Ayuk on the outside. Like, we got guys all over the field that can make plays, and I'm just excited for that opportunity to finally play football again, because I think we have potential to be very good.
You got me pumped up, man. Touchdown! Let's go. You ready to roll?
I love that.
I you know what? I just love being in the same room with you guys. Last year we did this and we were Zooming, and now
That was wild.
I can almost reach out and touch you
I
guys.
know,
It's so
we're-
good to see you again.
we're right there.
So good to see you.
I can touch Fred.
I know you can touch him.
I can touch
Good
Fred.
to see you guys. Have a great year. Stay healthy, both of you.
Welcome back to the 49ers 2021 State of the Franchise, presented by Incognito. As you can tell, we are here in the 49ers Museum, presented by Foxconn Industrial Internet, and I am excited to be joined by my guest, 49ers CEO Jed York. Jed, as I'm sitting here with you, I feel like it's been such a long time since you and I actually got to see each other face to face. We've done all of these video calls, but how special is it that we can actually get back to this moment and things starting to progress in a positive way?
It's awesome. I mean, it's been a long, 15, 18 months, however long you want to look at it. But it's great to be able to get back to some level of new normal. And I can't wait to get this season rolling.
Speaking of season, we went an entire 2020 season with not a single member of the faithful walking through the doors of Levi's Stadium, with things going in a great direction. How excited are you just to see the fans back in the stands this season?
I can't wait. And last year, obviously, we didn't finish 2019 the exact way we wanted to, but to be able to celebrate, an NFC championship with our fans, that was hard. It's something that it's not easy to do. It's not easy to accomplish. So we definitely want to at least make sure that we recognize that. But it's so nice, and our players feel it. When we had to go to Arizona for a period of time, we at least got to see some of our players' family and things like that. But playing in front of nobody is just such a strange experience. And especially for our guys, it's just a very, very different world. And the faithful, whether it's here or whether it's on the road, you've seen them lift us up and lift our spirits. I go back to the New Orleans game when we, essentially took over New Orleans, which is a great stadium, a great fan base, and the faithful took that over. And what they do at Levi's. I can't wait to see it again.
Speaking of fans at Levi's, this whole year of not having our fans in the stands, I feel like we've missed a few of the celebrations. And one that comes to mind is Bryant Young being an inductee into the 49ers Hall of Fame. It's so fitting when you look at where we are right now. But is this something that maybe the fans will still get the opportunity to experience this year?
But we definitely want to make sure that BY comes back and he'll be there, and we'll be able to celebrate BY and his unbelievable career with the Niners. BY is somebody that's very, very near and dear to my heart. Both of us are Notre Dame alumni. You know, and BY was a part of our Super Bowl 29 victory, and just an amazing human being, amazing person, and always somebody that we can look up to and know that, you know, he embodies what it means to be a San Francisco 49er.
Embodies being a San Francisco 49ers. We're in this museum, you see these statues, you know of these names and these players. With that, do you have any news to share as we're in this area, this room right now?
I mean, it's such a special area and it's such a special room, and knowing all the people that have made the 49ers, you know, who we are and what we are, you know, two guys really, really come to mind, and both of them are heroes of mine. You know, I'd like to introduce this year's inductees to the 49ers Hall of Fame, you know, John Taylor and Patrick Willis.
John, Pat, welcome to the 49ers State of the Franchise. First, congratulations on being named into the 49ers Hall of Fame. But when you hear this news that you two are the newest inductees, what comes to mind? I'll start with you first.
First thing comes to my mind is, am I dreaming or what? You know, I mean, I came from such a small school, you know, half the people didn't even know probably half the people didn't know where Delaware was, let alone Delaware State. You know, so for me to be inducted into the Niner Hall of Fame, it's really no words I can say. You know, I'm just grateful and appreciative.
How about you, Ben?
As John just said, truly honored, grateful. The 49ers have a rich tradition and just history. And to know that, you know, I'll be a part of a group of guys that are very few, just truly honored, and be set aside one of the legends themselves, watching him more so through the classics, you know, when they went to the Super Bowl, and just his career, just truly honored.
Jed, you're sitting across from these two guys. You think of the history and the teams that these guys have played on. Are there any specific memories that come to mind when you think of John Taylor, when you think of Patrick Willis?
I mean, both of these guys are members of all-decade teams when they played, and that speaks to how wonderful they were on the field, off the field. Both of these guys were exemplary. They set the standard for what it means to be a 49er. I mean, I'll go to JT first. When I was a little kid, so 1989, I was 8 years old, and watching a Monday night game on the East Coast was a little bit different, and I would have to sneak and watch. I had this old rabbit ear TV that was on my bed, and I remember watching against the Rams when he took 2 passes over 90 yards to the house. And I mean, it was hard to keep quiet as a kid, and my parents busted me on the second one that I was watching the game. But I remember that vividly. And I mean, anybody to get a 90-yard touchdown, that's very, very difficult to do 2 in one game. And it's not against a throwaway team, and it's easy to put up a highlight. This against the Los Angeles Rams, who we were battling, for the NFC West championship. And I mean, it was just a huge, huge moment. And when I think about Patrick, I'll never forget his first preseason game. We're playing the Bears, and there's always, not always, but there's sometimes a rub between, the scouts who pick somebody and the coaches, and coaches want guys to earn their spot. And I remember it was well, maybe Patrick will play some special teams for us this year. And I remember sitting with our then general manager, Scott McLuhan, and he thought that was a little absurd. And Pat made, I think, every single tackle against the Bears. And he's like, I think Pat's going to be starting for us. He's going to be starting for us for a long time. And when you fast forward a little bit, when we played against Arizona, and I can't remember, I think it was 07 or 08. It was a overtime game, and the season wasn't going great for us. But it just shows who Pat was as a player and who Pat is as a person. Kurt Warner throws one out of the backfield, and I can't remember if it was a back or it was a receiver, was taking it, and there's no way a linebacker is going to catch a skill position player from behind. He runs him down, tackles him, and Arizona ends up missing the field goal, and we end up getting a game-winning defensive touchdown, I believe. But that was Pat. In a game that might not have mattered, it mattered to Pat, and it mattered, and that's that's what helped us get to 3 NFC championship games in a row and get an NFC championship victory and get to a Super Bowl. And that's who Pat is, man.
I know you have a number of memories. I know the faithful have a number of memories just of you two and your contributions to this team. But with that, again, congratulations on being the latest inductees into the 49ers Hall of Fame. And the faithful cannot wait to celebrate this moment with you guys at Levi Stadium this season. But with that, Jed, is that all we got today?
Well, I've got some more news, but I think I'm going to tweet it out instead of telling us right now. So let me get that going.
In true Jed fashion.
All right, there we go. You'll have to read it on Twitter to see what's going on.
And in case you haven't caught Twitter, how about we just show you this video and you can get a hint of what's going on here at Levi Stadium.
Let's go. Let's go.
That pop is badass.
Let's go, dude.
Friggin' chip.
Oh, there's Jerry. Oh, dude, I cannot wait till they wear these. Oh, that's so wet.
I
Dude.
like how they're doing the 90s hip hop. Old school hip hop, dude. Sick.
Faithful, there you have it. The 49ers 94
Wow.
throwback inspired uniforms. And members, you can check your email for a first access window to purchase beginning tonight on shop49ers.com. And general
I'm
public can purchase
freaking in
starting
love,
tomorrow at noon on
Freaking badass.
shop49ers.com and in person at Levi Stadium at the 49ers team store presented by Visa. But with that, Jed, I want to thank you so much for being here. You guys as well. Thank you so much, Patrick and JT, for your time. And also a very big thank you to John Lynch, to Kyle Shanahan, to George Kittle, Fred Warner, Justin Prettyman, Al Guido, and everybody who made this possible. A special thanks to our moderators at KMBR and NBC Sports Bay Area. And very importantly, we cannot forget you, the faithful. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We cannot wait to see you all here at Levi Stadium in 2021. With that, have a wonderful evening. And of course, go Niners.
Fuck yeah. Awesome. You gotta give me one of those.
Hell yeah, dude.
If only I had the money right now. Damn, dude. It's freaking sick. What's up, bro?
Dude, what's up, man? Put it right here. Having issues with my camera, bro.
Yeah, I gotta turn the lights on. Mine's kind of dark. Shadow.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, dude. I'm fucking. Dude, I need to get me one of them red ones.
Yeah, me too. For sure.
Yep.
So excited for that shit, man.
For real, I'm just ready for the season to start, bro.
Yeah, same. Same, man, for sure. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I thought they were gonna have like everybody come out and like show it like they did when they brought out the whites.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's all good, man. All Gucci.
They still look pretty awesome, dude. I want to get a white one still, but I don't know if I can only get one like maybe at the stadium or something. Unless I get a different white one and get a red Debo one, because that's what I want. I want a Samuel one.
I think I want a George Kittle one, man.
I already have a black George Kittle one, so I need a white. I need a white throwback and a red throwback, and then I'll be good to go.
I have a white Bosa. I want to get the red one now too.
Yeah, I want to get I'll probably get the red Warner or white Warner, and then Samuel one. If I have to see what I can find. I want to have the money too. It's like $150, $160 or whatever.
Yes, sir. But let's go ahead and close this up real quick. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We appreciate it. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Give us a follow on Instagram for our Faithful Podcast. Once again, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Forever Faithful Podcast. Thanks for joining us for the State of the Franchise episode, and we'll catch you next time, guys.
Yeah, peace.
Peace.